Coach Johnston, how much differently would we view Fields if he had the DUI and not Jones? NFL is a microcosm of society. I think this is a bigger topic that's not being discussed.
Yeah, I think that Fields had the DUI, they'd be all over him. It's just,
there's like no question about it, right?
Yeah, it's a skin color thing, like because Mac Jones is definitely getting a pass because he's white, and yeah, if Fields had that, it'd be one of the top stories. I don't knock Fields necessarily because of. I mean, I think he seems to me like he's a great kid. He's an intelligent kid. I just don't think from what I see on the football field, I don't necessarily think that he's going to have success. He could in the NFL. That's just my opinion. But yeah, you're onto something there. And
real quick, I feel like the media loves Justin Fields, though. I mean, there have been some people in the media that have been critical of him, and they got a lot of publicity because of all the pushback that they experienced afterward. I think Justin Fields is the media's favorite quarterback. I mean, other than Trevor Lawrence.
He might be.
I don't know that the league seems a little lukewarm about him and like afraid to say it. It's like every time they leak how they feel, people are like, the league is racist. Like, okay, we're not going to say it. But if he drops on draft day, just know why.
He might be the most polarizing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're either here or you're here on Justin Fields. Like, and there's like super extremes to it.
It's crazy. It's like the Kaepernick thing all over again.
I have a question for you and Mike about quarterbacks. Is which quarterback do you think would have the biggest chip on their shoulder? The biggest to walk in with that Tom Brady out of the guys that you think are gonna go in like the first round.
I mean, how could you possibly have a chip on your shoulder when a team traded 3 picks to get you? It's impossible. You can't be like, hey man, no one believed in me. I dropped. No one thought I would be good. Like, no, the Niners are mortgaging. They're betting. Everyone in the Niners organization is betting their careers on you, man. It's hard to have a chip on your shoulder. How do you do that? Now, the thing about Trey Lance is it seems like he has it. Like people, but again, I mean, if he's the number 3 pick in the draft, goodbye. Dude. I don't know. I don't think you can have it. Put yourselves in the shoes of a 20-year-old who just got, a $30 million signing bonus and a team said, you're great. And we traded up for you. It's a pretty heady time.
And there might be something to that why there hasn't been much success in the first.
I don't think the Patriots would ever do something like that because they want players who have a chip on their shoulder, like Cam Newton, things to prove. And it's just a lot like what the Niners did with Jimmy Garoppolo. You were anointing him before he's done anything. Jimmy, we need you. Jimmy, we love you. 5 games, here's $130 million. We believe in you. Like, nah, okay. There's nothing left for him to prove, though. Human nature here. Think about it. That's what I'm saying. Good question, though. Good question.
There's definitely something to it. And I think there's another thing that people are missing out about is that whoever this guy is, and if they expect him to start, he's going to have to walk in from day one and look veterans in the eye like
it's my team.
Trent Williams, and this is my team, and make them believe that they can win.
Yes. And that's the thing. If it's Trey Lance, dude, I have no idea who you are. Never heard of you, never seen you play. North Dakota, great. If it's Justin Fields, I think a lot of these players are excited about him. They've seen him. It might be easier, but again, if Justin Fields, they might like him. If he struggles in training camp, they won't like him.
Right. He's gonna have to come in.
You gotta play.
He's gonna have some kind of command. The stories that came out. Russell Williams stepped in, and he immediately showed a command of the huddle.
Mental aspect is biggest for Fields over Jones. Faithful love him and will give him chances. Jones plus 1 mistake equals mental breakdown. Fans will crucify him. Maybe. I think it's interesting about Mac Jones. Graduated college in 3 years and completed his master's already. So he seems like a driven, smart guy. I mean, I think people are being very hard on Mac Jones because for whatever reason, I mean, there's a whole mob of people who have Justin Fields back. There's no one who has Mac Jones back. He made mistakes when he was a kid. A lot of people make mistakes. It seems like he's very driven and maybe those things helped him become the guy he is. I don't know. I'm just saying, graduated in 3 years, has a master's. Maybe be open-minded about him.
Right. I don't think that any of these quarterbacks are going to really necessarily fail the intelligence test. I mean, like you just said, Mac Jones graduated in 3 years. Justin Fields had offers from Harvard.
I heard he got a 29 in the ACT, which is legit.
Right.
That's hard.
I mean,
yeah.
Trey Lance had offers from I think Brown and Cornell. So it's like,
yeah,
these guys are all intelligent human beings.
Yeah.
That's not going to be an issue.
And then you have Kellen Mond, who's the greatest quarterback of them all. So, I mean, really a nice group this year. Sean says, or maybe people reporters lie. I know, no way. Crazy talk. What do you think about the guy coaching Lance and Fields? Inside track for Kyle. John Beck. Very interesting how Kyle set that up.
Yeah, it is. It's possible. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to draft said prospect. What it might mean is at the time he wanted more information. So go see my guy so I can get more information and so that I can make my decision.
Remember, Shanahan got himself in trouble for not taking – it wasn't just that he didn't take Watson and Mahomes. It's that he admitted he didn't really do his homework on him. He was like, look, it was my first year. We wanted Cousins. I didn't really study him much. And that was, I think, the worst part about it. This year, if he's like, yeah, I took Mac Jones, but, I mean, I did my homework. My guy was with these guys for months, and I really like him. I like Trey Lance. I like Justin Fields, but that's how much I like Mac Jones. I'm telling you.
If Shanahan learns and he can adapt, right? Because if he can learn and adapt, it's going to make him a better coach. I mean, I think there's been discussion on Twitter about Shanahan's reluctance to adapt. We have seen him he has adapted. We've talked about before. I think his first year, I think you criticized him a lot for his only running outside zone, and then in 2019 he started using gap schemes and varying his run game. So he has shown some
no doubt,
some ability to adapt and change. Now, if he changes his stance he can change his stance on quarterbacks. We'll see this year. That will show big growth if he does do that. He did show growth in moving on from Jimmy, so that's another thing. But we'll see. I mean, I think the best coaches do adapt. I think
yes.
Look at Saban, right? Saban was a run first, let's play defense guy, and he was getting his tail handed to him, and he was like, all right, I got to change or I'm going to lose. And he changed the way they think about defense, and he changed the way they thought about offense. And now look, they're Alabama again.